Okay, this is Joseph on JohnTheHutDweller channel. I have a bit of a confession to make. There are periods throughout the days when I absolutely have total hatred and contempt for the non-Orthodox and the non-Catholic. Just blind hatred. This comes from seeing people who don't know anything, don't have any type of spirituality, don't do any of that kind of stuff, and then get suckered in by people like Benny Hinn or Reinhard Bonnke or any of the other con artists on TV. And they send in the rent checks, they pray, they take time away from their family and their children and even their jobs to pay for the roof over their head, to go pray and to give money and to give time to these big, rich televangelists. Let me remind you, Benny Hinn, you can see him on TV sitting in a gold throne in, probably a $3,000 suit, maybe more. He's got his own jet from place to place. He lives in obnoxious luxury, and he preaches blasphemy and heresy. And then these people, after their child dies from not getting enough medical attention, or maybe they got all the best medical attention in the world, but they're praying to Benny Hinn for one of these miracle cures, and their child dies of cancer. And they leave Christianity as if they were ever in it. Christianity's evil. They become atheists. They were never Christians. They swallowed poison, and they died from it, and they wondered why. And people say, what makes you think your Christianity is the valid form? Well, mine was the original form. Mine's the only form that's out of all the other groups, Gnostics, Arians, we're the only people that are left, the Orthodox. It's the only continuing line. And there's three branches: Nestorians, which are the Assyrian Catholics, the Oriental, and the Eastern. And then the West, you have Roman Catholics, which has changed over the years. And now it's basically a Germanic church and not a Latin church, although it's going back to being Latin again. No, but it's this counterfeit fraud that was brought in after the schism, 1054, the Great Schism, where people who are not Christian then think they are because they have some obscene lust for power or money, or they're in some type of depression or despair, and they cling to these con artists, and then they say, oh, well, no, we left it. We were devout Christians. We really believed. I don't doubt that they really believed in something. Was it Christianity? No. And how do we measure what Christianity is? Well, the councils tell us. Should it be that any jackass can pick up a Bible, start preaching, and start demanding money from people? And worse than demanding. I can cure your child if you have enough faith to send me money. Oh, you sent me money and your child died anyways? That's because of your lack of faith, or because your child's lack of faith. It's wickedness and evil. And as for all the Protestants who actually, read the Bible and mean well and try to get to God, it's the blind leading the blind. And they're going to get people hurt, just like the con artists do, although the con artists do it intentionally. Or they don't even care about the people. I don't even think they have any malignance for it. They just don't care. They just want their money. Well, the Protestants, they try to, do all these things for people, bring people into the church, and people fall away, or sometimes they themselves fall away, or they convert to Islam, or go on these other weird routes. Hey, I've searched through all of Christianity. Really? No, you haven't. I mean, it's an extremely obnoxious and arrogant thing for somebody to read the King James many times, only read that, and then say, oh, well, I've looked at Christianity. even though sola scriptura wasn't around for the first 1,500 years. The idea, I mean, it would be more Christian to go to a relic and pray to it than it is to read. No Christians read the Bible. I mean, when I say no, I mean the common people. If you already had Christ, why do you need the Bible? If you're a layperson, you should go to church and pray to God, but should you be constantly reading the Bible? Is that, I mean, maybe it's a good devotional thing that you do, but it's certainly not mandatory, not necessary at all. I know that's shocking to most Protestants here, but it's really not. I mean, once you have the hypostatic union in Trinity, start praying. Start taking part in services. Yeah, read the Bible. Do it in liturgical form. But the people that West do, no. They have little study classes where they don't read the Bible in a worshipful manner. They go and they study and they hear. And a lot of it isn't even study. It's kind of like this, what was that? The Way of the Prosperous Life, or what? There was some flash in the pan book, some self-help motivational speaker, motivational preacher book. The Purpose-Filled Life, that's what it was. So you already have an idea, and you already have this whole system of doing things, and then you cherry pick verses out of the Bible to fit your template of what you made up, and it didn't come from the Bible. But you can find verses that maybe sound like they back up what you're saying. So, it's scriptural now. I mean, I could pull a verse out of the Bible that says there is no God. It's one of the Psalms. Only a fool saith in his heart there is no God. Well, because there's no God. See, Christianity actually preaches atheism. You can't believe in a God if you're Christian. I mean, that's ridiculous. So it does infuriate me that you have these counterfeits rushing in before people even ever heard of orthodoxy, in areas where there's no orthodoxy, and come and give a counterfeit, and then the people reject it, and then when they see true Christianity, or they're not even the real Christians. I mean, they're looking at the counterfeits thinking they're real, and then saying, oh, we don't want that, and then calling the original the counterfeit. It's very strange, and it's a very hard thing to deal with, very in spiritual life, because you're looking around at all these people, and you want to say, oh, my Christian brothers. But is there any? I mean, there's the lingo is this may be similar, but is there any? Probably have more spirituality in common with the Muslims and the Jews than this form of obnoxious, money grubbing, evangelical filth. I don't understand it, and I actually hope I never do, because it's disgusting. And it's not a happy thing for me to feel contempt for people who I also feel should be my brothers and sisters in Christ. It's a very awkward thing. It's not something you really want to tell people. I have contempt and hatred for, a quarter of all of Christendom. Protestantism is an infection that needs to get dug out, cut out with a knife and shot. I don't mean hurting anybody, but there's Christianity and then there's Protestantism. Stop being a Protestant and start being a Christian. Why do you have to be a Protestant before you can be a Christian? We need to get all this Protestant trash out and just have Christianity. Like what the original reformers were trying to do, like Calvin and Luther meant to do. But they just made things worse. So let's get this infection of Protestantism out of the way and get on with Christianity. Will that happen? I don't think so. Do I have faith that in the future everything's going to get better? No, I don't. Unfortunately, I think Orthodoxy may die. It'll probably take about 500 years, but it might. But we're told that things are going to get bad, and before the church ever leaves this world, he who is going to come back. And after that, we don't know what's going to happen. But peace to all of you. Happy Mother's Day to any of the mothers out there. When I say peace, I do mean that.